Welcome to Growing Up Boomer. I'm your host, Padre, and this podcast is dedicated to the life and times of the baby boomer generation. The show is loosely scripted, and sometimes we'll go down rabbit holes, and where it leads us to, one will never know. This podcast can be informative, funny, and sometimes irreverent. But most of all, we hope you find it entertaining. Hey, Professor, how's it going, my man?
Padre, I'm doing well. Just busy.
Yeah, you know what? That like I told you before, we're supposed to take it easy, and it seems we've got more stuff to do now than we ever had.
I tell you, these last couple of weeks, it feels like it's been never. There was, what day was it? I forget one day. I think I started doing stuff at 9 in the morning. I didn't get done until 10 at night.
Oh, I know.
And boy, was I pooped.
I bet you slept in, huh?
No, did I sleep in? Yeah, maybe an hour. That's about it.
Oh,
not a whole lot.
Because you had to do with other stuff, huh?
I was more stuff to do.
Wait, by the way, I want to let you know we got our first download from the United Arab Emirates.
Wow. Okay, we're getting some Middle East following.
Yeah,
huh?
well, that was just, that. It was only one, but I'll take it.
Well, you got to start someplace.
That's true. And, you know, the only thing I could think of, man, when I saw that was one of my favorite bad movies.
Okay. You have lots of favorite bad movies. Which one was this?
You ain't kidding, man. Do you ever watch the Fast and Furious franchise?
I think I watched the first one.
And that's it?
That's it.
Oh, Professor, you don't know what you're missing.
They're just not my kind of movies.
I understand that. You know, I like those. I like that Looney Tune type of movies.
I get that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, every once in a while, but not.
You don't take a steady diet of bad movies like I
Definitely
do.
not.
Yeah,
Definitely
yeah.
not. Uh-uh.
There's this one scene, and they're in Abu Dhabi, and they have to get this device called God's Eye. All right, and it's supposed to hack into every camera on Earth so you can find anybody anywhere in a matter of minutes.
Sounds pretty good.
Okay. Well, the thing is, they hid it in a car.
Okay.
Now the car was purchased by this Arab prince, in which case he keeps it in a vault in about the 100-story building. And it's a Lycan Hypersport. Okay. That was in 2012. They started them. It is the only car that has ever been designed totally in the Middle East.
Huh.
It is the third most expensive car in 2013.
Wow.
You know, I mean, it runs like, what was it? I think $3.4 million.
Wow.
The headlights are encrusted with diamonds. Depending on the color of the car, you choose sapphires, yellow diamonds, white diamonds, whatever you want. I guess if you pay $3.4 million, you can do anything you want.
Yeah, it sounds like a UAE modesty.
Yeah. The thing goes almost 250 miles an hour. It's got a turbocharged flat six.
Wow.
Right, he's having a party. It's the longest day of the year, so they have a big party, and they crash the party. Well, what ends up happening was the guy that's chasing Vin Diesel, he comes in and he starts blasting the place apart, and it happens to be Jason Statham, my guy. Okay, I love his movies. He starts blasting the thing apart, so they got to take the car because the device is in the car. But the car is like on the 100th floor of this building. So they have the Lycan, they decide they're going to fire this baby up. Okay, they're going to fire this baby up. So they fire it up. Oh, I forgot to mention, it's bulletproof as well. They start driving around in the grand ballroom on this floor where they're having the party, and they fly out the window. Okay? Now, this is at the Tina Towers, which is 3 towers right next to each other. They fly out that tower into the next tower. Okay? And they're still going. And they fly into the next tower. They're having an auction there for the Terracotta Warriors. And they fly out, and they finally get the device. They do the combat roll out of the car, and the car ends up going all the way down to the ground level.
And you wonder why I don't watch these movies.
You know what? When you watch the last part of the movie, that scene looks believable. That's why I watch them, because, I watch them and I go, that's so that is way out of line. And then you watch the next one and you think about the last one, you say, that's possible. Yeah, that's possible. I can see that.
Okay.
But that's all I can think of when we got them for United Arab Emirates. It's called, I think it's called Furious 7.
Okay.
All right, with Jason Statham. And he's my guy anyway. I like Jason Statham.
I'm glad you get to watch your guy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, by the way, today is about our parents, what they used to tell us.
Oh, man. All sorts of things. Where do you want to begin? You want me to begin?
Oh, yeah, please. What was the one thing your parents always said?
Do you remember, close the refrigerator?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
I just can't believe it. Close the refrigerator, you're letting all the cold air out. Okay, it's kind of like, no, really, okay? It's open for what? Half a minute? For a minute? What's that going to do to the lasagna or anything like that? Well, that's what it was like. But then, of course, we grow up, and then we start paying our electric bills. And then we start thinking, a refrigerator door here, a refrigerator door there.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, it may add up a little bit. So I don't know. Maybe there was something to it. But I mean, have I ever said that to the kids? Yeah, probably. Every time I do that, I'm thinking about my parents telling me.
Oh, yeah. What are you looking for?
Yeah, what are you looking for?
You don't know what you need?
Refrigerator door.
Close the door.
Yeesh. Wow. Yeah, that one came to mind.
How about they always like clean your room before you go out?
Yeah, clean your room. I've said that to my kids. Mm-hmm. Well, two of my kids. Mm-hmm. One of them I never had to say that to. Mm-hmm. Okay, but two of my kids I've done. And I remember as a kid, clean your room. And you know what? I actually kept a fairly neat room.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to say, I feel I actually kind of did, but I know it. I know the phrase. I get it. Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. Oh, but then again, too, then we were really, I want to say, respectful of our parents. If they said something to us, we usually did it.
Yep, absolutely.
Until we got into the teenage years, well, then, things kind of changed a little bit.
Yeah. And I don't think anything's changed.
Yeah. Well, and the same thing with me. All right. We had two that I didn't have to say. Mine was the opposite. Two I didn't have to say, and one it didn't do any good. So I said, well, why am I bashing my head? He's never going to clean that room. Ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when my oldest left. He went off to school. Mm-hmm. We had to go in there, just do a deep clean.
Oh.
But there is something to say for neatness, I guess.
Yes.
So yeah. So I don't know. Hey, but how about this one? Okay. No elbows on the table.
Oh yeah.
Now, I don't know about you, but that's the household I grew up in.
Yes, absolutely.
No elbows on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Eat around the clock. I used to get that one. Okay. I don't know if you've ever heard of that one.
I haven't never heard of that one.
Eat around the clock. Okay. Because some people just eat if you got 3 or 4 portions of different things on your plate, I would mix the taste. I'd eat a little of this, a little of that, have some stuff in my mouth. You all blend the taste. No, eat around the clock. Eat this, then eat this, then eat this, then eat this.
Wow. Well, you know what? That's why I ate. I never mixed the stuff.
But the elbows on the table, I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
And tell me that all the time. And I I remember when my kids were young, I would do that at the table. And my wife said, "What are you doing?" Okay, what do you mean no elbows on the table? And I'm thinking, well, no elbows on the table. So anyway.
It's ingrained, man.
I know. I guess they were trying to teach us some good manners. And, eat good posture.
Right.
And everything else. And you know what, though? Because now, if you think about this in your older life, in your adult life, when you go to meetings and conferences and stuff like that, if you see people kind of doing that, or eating, really slobberly.
Yes.
Okay. You think about you observe it, and you may not want to pass judgment, but there might be a little bit in there because you grew up differently. Okay, or something. Or at least that's what your parents wanted you to do.
You're thinking to yourself.
I remember that. No elbows on the table.
You're thinking to yourself, Oh, I don't want to judge, but I'm judging.
Yeah, I don't want to judge.
I don't really want to judge, but
I'm
I'm
just
judging.
an attorney. I'm not a judge.
Oh, you know what with me? Take your hat off at the dinner table.
Oh, well, I never wore a hat at the dinner table.
Well, I'm a baseball cap. I always had a
I know.
baseball cap on.
Well, I always wore a baseball cap, but I took it off before I went in for dinner.
Yeah.
That
Well, that was the whole thing my mom used to tell me. You know, if you keep wearing that baseball cap, you're going to go bald. I guess she was right. She was right.
She was right. That's right. Oh,
Well,
you know what? Someone should do a really quick study on all the bald guys because they've been telling us for years. You know, it's what do they call that? It's male baldness or whatever it is. Okay, how many of us wore ball caps for years and years and years?
Oh, I know I did.
That are bald. We'll have to find out.
Yeah.
We got to do a study.
Yeah.
Okay, to see if that's really the reason. Anyway.
Well, they say hair has to grow somewhere, and if it's growing on your body, it's not going to be growing on your head.
Yeah, well, not on my head anymore.
Yeah, it's all like I said, I could braid my back hair. There ain't nothing up on top.
No, you can braid your back. I can't even do that. Well, I keep it really short.
Well, you know what, though? My mom was really big at that. I could not wear a hat at the table till I was in my 60s.
Wow.
I mean, am I a broken toy or what?
I guess, man. Wow.
Yeah, I could not wear a hat
at the table. You're so surprised she still let you wear a hat.
Yeah. You know what? And she had been gone for years, and I still would not. It would have been late 60s when I finally, felt comfortable wearing a hat at the table.
Oof.
I mean, even at Der Wiener, I'd take it off. I mean, we're talking McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in places like that, I don't mind, but at home in a dining room, I don't.
Oh yeah. Oh no. It was. I don't care. The Wiener Schnitzel. The McDonald's. The hat comes off.
Yeah.
End of story.
Yeah. Got it.
How about writing thank you notes? Did your mom ever make you write thank you notes?
Oh, I remember that. I do remember that, writing those thank you notes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember for my bar mitzvah having to write thank you notes to everybody. And that was fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not really. And then I mean, I remember that. I had to do that growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got out of it. I got totally out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then in business, I started getting back into it again.
Yeah.
And it made a big difference in sales.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It can make a big difference to make handwritten thank you notes and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And I used to do it quite regularly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I didn't like it when I was young, but it shows gratitude.
Yeah.
Shows a lot of different things.
Good manners. Yeah, and not only that, it keeps you in the customer's head. Oh,
yes,
I got a Christmas card. I mean, I remember that from my our insurance person.
Yep.
The mechanic. He's an old guy. His name is Joe's Auto Repair. He's got my name written all over it.
Yep.
And and he sends a Christmas card, him and his wife, and so I always remember.
Do that religiously
Mm-hmm.
every single year for the birthday cards and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And there's a lot to it. But I didn't think so when I was a kid.
I agree with you.
So if I say, okay, you'll go blind, what do you think I'm relating to?
Oh, that's got to be the TV.
Absolutely. Remember, don't sit so close to the TV. You'll go blind.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. You had to sit right close.
Yeah.
Okay. You wanted to be in that TV. You wanted to be in the show. Okay. You sit up close. Okay. I mean, that was the only way to really watch TV.
Yeah.
We're going to go blind. Okay. So,
I'm going to have to say they were probably right because I had 20/20 vision until I got my latest job in 2003, which was a buyer, and I spent a ton of time in front of the computer screen.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden, that's when my vision started going.
How old?
Let me see here. Oh, I must have been, 40, 49.
That's exactly what. Don't you start getting cheaters when you're, cheater readers in your 40s?
No, not me.
Well, what did you do when you were 49?
Matter of fact, I'll tell you what, Professor, that's the only reason why they took me golfing, because I could tell where their ball was. They could not believe my eyesight. I said, no, you hit it over here, and there it was. That's the only reason why they took me. I was a ball spotter.
Well, you know what? We've been golfing together, and you kept your eyes on my ball. Thank you very much. I appreciate
Yeah, see?
it. Yeah, there you go. But there's a lot to that,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Mhm.
you can definitely just affect your eyes.
Yeah.
It's really not good.
Well,
There's eye strain. There's all sorts of stuff, and of
yes.
course now people aren't really they're in TVs, but they're on big screens. Okay, lots of times, so you could sit on the other side of the room and don't have to be close up.
It's almost like you're going to the show.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, it could also cause headaches. So there was
Yeah.
something to it, but I don't
Yeah.
even think they really knew it back then.
I
I
don't
think
think so
only they
either.
discovered it as years went on.
Yeah, I have to agree with you that just, I don't know what they thought.
Yeah,
Because remember,
Yeah.
I mean, TV was a new thing back then.
yeah.
So I have no idea
Yeah.
what they were thinking.
Now I don't know if there's anything technical about this, but when we were young, I
Mhm.
mean, I remember my first TV, and it was a big console, black and white. Okay,
Yeah.
and this was like 53.
Uh-huh.
1953, maybe 54. And that's the first TV that I remember. I'm not saying we didn't have one before. And it was black and white. So I wonder if there's the black and white versus color, and the more pixels and more pixels and more pixels
Mhm.
has something to do with anything. It just came to my head.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you
we
might be
we
right.
can move along. Don't sit
Okay.
close to the TV.
How about no swimming until 30 minutes after you eat?
That's all I grew up with all the time. And I tell you, when I was away, if I went someplace in the summer,
Mhm.
okay, and I was supposed to go swimming, I don't know why, but I would wait 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, it was drilled into you.
Absolutely was
You
drilled
know?
in me. I would do that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I ever did it less than 30 minutes and got the cramps that they said I was going to get.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if I remember doing that, but
Yeah.
I remember that. Absolutely.
For me, it was an hour. It wasn't 30 minutes.
Oh, I got the 30 minutes.
Yeah. No, I got the hour.
Okay.
And let me tell you what the real reason is behind that.
Well, that's because you're special.
No. Oh, no. The parents didn't want to get up and watch you. So they could go to the beach. You just ate. You have to wait for an hour. They could relax for an hour.
Okay. Well, you know what? I never thought of that one. Good point. Maybe that was what it was all about. You know what? I think, well, okay, now if I'm with my granddaughter, I'll tell her she has to wait an hour.
Yeah. And then that
This
way
way
you can
I'll
relax. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work with her. Yeah. So, but you know what? But that's kind of like activity. If you eat, especially if you eat a fair amount,
Sure.
and you get physical, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, it could bug you. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I agree.
Now think about this: when you were young,
Mhm.
okay, before cell phones and before stuff, call when you get there.
Yes. Hmm. And we still do that.
Yes, but now they can call really easily.
Yes.
When we were growing up, when they said to do that, okay, you had to find somebody with a phone.
Yeah.
And so you're either at a friend's house and they had a phone,
Right.
okay, or if you were you couldn't call if you were
Hmm.
going out in the country. You
Yeah.
couldn't call if you were wherever. Okay, it was really difficult to do
I'm
that.
sure you probably didn't call home when you got to Woodstock.
Well, no, I was old enough. I didn't.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
we drill this into our kids so much they make us call when we get there.
Absolutely, they do now. Absolutely. Okay, I do it with my wife and back and forth. We tell the kids.
Yeah.
They tell us. Yeah.
Mhm.
But that just means that we're here and we're connected and we love each other. We care about each other.
Right.
So while it was a pain in the back then, now it's not. Now it's a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep,
God.
yep.
And this
Yeah.
one here was, don't wear your good clothes to go out and play.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I actually still do that now. I mean, I still do that now. If I'm going to go out and play, I make sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, you still play?
Work. It's not play, it's work. Okay. I put on work clothes.
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
for sure. I absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe
Oh,
that's
yeah.
because I grew up and got some common sense.
Yeah.
But as a kid, you're wearing like what you like to wear. You're looking cool.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll go out and
Oh,
play
no.
in my cool
No.
clothes. Yeah.
Mm-mm. There was no looking cool here. You made sure, because you know what? If you heard some of my past podcasts, that's what I got for my birthday and Christmas were clothes and shoes.
Sure.
The only toy I received was always from Santa Claus.
Okay.
Everything else was, am I going to be shirts, pants, and shoes that I was going to wear for the year.
Okay, well, that's a wonderful Christmas.
Well, yeah, because by the time it came rolling around, I mean, these pants are being held together by patches.
I
Those iron-on
understand.
patches.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, but then again, what we don't want to at these days growing up, and well, the kids do their own clothes now, but we used to do them, and they would come back. It was stains and dirt, okay, and just all sorts of funny
Oh
colors.
yeah,
And you try to do the OxyClean to get it out, and then
yeah.
sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So,
Yep. Oh, you're
um,
right.
yeah, and especially if they were expensive clothes.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, I don't mean like expensive, like crazy expensive, but
Mm.
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I know what you
Finer
mean.
clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because you always had them. The good clothes were always worn to church for me.
Okay.
That was it.
Yeah.
Every
Okay.
Sunday, that's when you got your Sunday best out and you went to church, and then you went right back into the closet till next Sunday.
Yeah. Well, I remember going to temple, doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
wearing decent clothes, going there,
Yeah.
and as soon as you get back, boom, you're out of your clothes. Of course, I did that all my work life too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, get on because I was wearing a suit and a tie or a
Suit and
jacket and a
tie.
tie for
Mm-hmm.
years and years and years and years. As soon as I get home, on come the sweats.
Yeah.
There you go,
Yeah.
sweats and a t-shirt and get comfy do.
Just comfy.
So do you remember? Don't slam the door.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was always a good one.
I still do it now.
You
My-
slammed the door?
No, I tell my kids.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
My son and my grandson are living with us. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they get up, and to get him to school, they get up early. And
Oh.
I'm telling you, they don't, well, the front door, okay, because when they slam it, it kind of vibrates a little bit,
Yes.
and you can kind of feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I have to, this is kind of elaborating a little bit, but they close the bathroom door like they close the door, okay, without turning the doorknob. We're sleeping, okay, without turning the doorknob and closing it quiet. They have no care for people that are sleeping, okay, and we go around and around and around. We're starting to get a little bit better, but yeah, don't slam the door. I remember that.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
Oh, golly.
Okay, because one thing about slamming the door,
No, okay, sorry.
as we learn when we get older,
Uh-huh.
okay, if you slam the door, you can crack stuff. You can crack the walls, the door frames, and so on. And I won't tell you who, but somebody in my house one day got so angry that person slammed that door, and that door is not the same since.
Mhm.
So there's some truth to that. Our parents were wise.
Yeah.
Okay, they were wise.
Well, let me tell you what if you would knock something down, not so much even the door jam and everything. How about the little knickknacks your mom used to collect? If you slammed the door, if you slammed the door hard enough and it knocked something over, oh.
Yep, deep trouble. So yeah, there was a reason for not slamming the door.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
you're gonna
How about don't run with scissors? Yeah.
absolutely, and that to me is a safety issue.
Yes.
And I kind of thought it then also.
Mhm,
In fact, they taught me to. I don't know if this is right or not, but when you're walking with scissors, walk with a point versus the point out, the point in your hand.
mhm.
So you're holding the scissors closed.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
Okay. So I did learn that, and for some reason that made sense to me when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
I did that.
Oh yeah.
But don't run with scissors. Yeah.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that one. Absolutely.
What other one did your parents tell you?
Oh well, one that comes to mind. Okay, I know this happened in your house. Money doesn't grow on trees.
Oh yeah.
Boy, and it did. I mean, of course, our kids these days they think money grows on ATMs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I'm sorry, we don't have any money. Well, that machine gives you money all the time.
gives you, yeah, absolutely. In fact, sometimes I used to joke with the kids if they wanted money, I would just push my nose as an ATM.
Oh man.
Just push my nose. It's just a joke thing between us. That's a family joke. Why did I just waste that? My precious time. I'm telling you, that silly joke. Anyway, yeah, money doesn't grow on trees, but the reality is, okay, there was a lot to that.
Yeah.
Trying to learn fiscal responsibility,
Exactly.
saving, and all that other kind of stuff. So and
Exactly.
practical spending and so on. So it was a staying and so on, but there was a reason for it. Maybe our parents are smarter than we thought.
Well, of course. They were.
Okay.
A lot smarter than us. they
hope
they
my
live
kids
through
are
us.
saying the same thing. Yeah, I hope my kids are saying that now. Oh, no, in about 30 years they'll be saying it.
But the other thing
Anyway.
is, I remember they always used to ask Kathy for money because I was on the road quite a bit when I
Yeah.
was working. I was on
Yeah,
the road quite
yeah,
a
yeah.
bit.
You were driving.
So yeah, all the
Ungodly hours.
time. I was driving all the
Right.
time, and it was so funny that I finally told her, I said, "Don't give them any money. Tell them to come see me." And they said,
Ooh.
"Oh." She goes, "Okay, fine." So every time the kids came over, they'd say, "Hey, Dad, can I have $10?" That's what your mother say. And she said, "Come to ask you," and I'd go, "No." Before they even came out, when it's go, they told me to come and ask. No. Oh
How
yeah,
many
and
times
they
did it
stop
take
asking
that for
up.
them to stop?
Yeah, they stop asking for money. They know I
Okay,
was going to say
that'll
no.
work.
But you're right. You're right
Yeah.
about fiscal responsibility. You're right.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah. What
Along
else you
with that,
got?
along with that one was what? Don't waste food, right?
Oh, I got that one all the time too. Yeah,
Yes, yes. Think
yeah,
of the
all the time.
starving children.
I not only did I get it, I gave it to my kids too. Then I
Hmm.
finally stopped. But yeah, okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Think of all the starving children around
Yeah,
the world. They
yeah,
don't have any food to eat. Okay, and we're here,
yeah,
slopping in all this good stuff and
yeah,
and
yeah,
wasting food and not
yeah.
finishing food.
Well, I think
Yeah.
the thing that we have to remember too about our parents is they grew up during the Depression.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, their outlook on life was a lot different than ours.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yeah,
they
we grew up in a
and
very
they fought in a
um
war.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
A lot of
yeah.
them had, what was it, the rationing during World War
Sure.
II, and I mean,
Yeah,
so they weren't as fortunate as we were growing up.
right.
So.
Yeah, the only rationing I know of and remember was the oil embargo
Oh
and the
yeah,
gasoline. That's it.
odds and
Yeah,
evens, odds and evens.
yeah, yeah. Odds and evens. That's right.
Oh
But
yeah,
thinking about the wasting food, I mean, there is a bit more to it.
yeah,
You think about hunger and everything else, and our little, of course, as a kid. Okay, so listen, I throw out these 15 peas.
hmm,
Okay, that's not going to make a damn difference to anybody in Africa.
yeah,
Okay, but it's responsibility and
exactly.
waste and you got to think about grocery bills
Yes,
and so on. So,
exactly.
gosh darn it, I hate to admit that they were maybe smart.
Yeah, yeah,
Phew.
you're right. You're
Uh,
right.
I don't know. How
Yeah.
about the no TV until homework's done?
Oh, yeah. Well, let's put it in our house. No TV till Dad gets home.
Oh, what time did Dad get home?
well, we probably about 5:36.
Oh, well, that's not too bad.
But then
Okay.
there was dinner,
Yeah.
and then we got to watch what Dad wanted to watch.
Ah, okay.
I wanted
All right.
to when I was growing up. I wanted to watch Get Smart so much. Remember? Dun, da,
I
da.
remember Get
Well,
Smart,
he
yeah.
thought it was a game show. He says, "I ain't watching no game show." So I'd go over a friend's house and we'd watch Get Smart there.
Well, there you go. You always had a way around it. There you go.
Plan B.
Yeah, no TV until the homework's done.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, you had to
Yes.
get that stuff
Mm-hmm.
done,
Mm-hmm.
and that actually is an important thing
Yes.
to do. That's
Yes.
responsibility.
You're
It really
absolutely
is.
right.
And so,
Yeah.
and we used to do that with our kids
Mm-hmm.
too. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. How about make your bed every morning? And what was going through your head? What was going through your head?
Well, make my bed every morning.
You want to know what's going through my head?
I'm trying to think how to answer this because I'm not sure if I made my bed.
Oh, no! I had to make the bed. Oh,
I don't
yeah.
remember making my. You know what? I can't say that I don't ever remember making it. I did make it, but I don't think I really made it when I was like under 10.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was when I got older, and then I had to start to do it,
Mm-hmm.
if I recall correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever. Maybe I lucked out. One
Yeah.
time I lucked out on something.
The way it works was in your head, you're thinking, "Why? I'm just going to mess it up tonight.
Right.
I'm just going to
of
mess it up
course,
again."
Yeah, absolutely. I've had that my wife on occasion because I like to make the bed every day.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And then sometimes she doesn't, and I've been a little grumpy. She says, "What's the matter? It's just going to be the same anyway."
Yeah.
But 99% of the time, our bed gets made by one of us. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
we
yeah.
do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did your dad ever say, "Because I said so"?
Absolutely. Well, why? Because I said so.
Yeah.
But why? Because I said so.
Yeah.
Okay. You're so mean. Okay. You don't give me anything. You don't care.
Yeah.
Because I said so. That's why.
I was going to say, my dad, he didn't worry about the whole sentence. He just said because.
Oh,
But why? Because.
okay.
There you go.
Okay. Well, I needed the rest of the answer. Because why? Because I said so.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, we live with that.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Went up with that one. There was that one. Of
Oh.
course, yeah, I don't know, whatever it is.
Oh,
You
yeah.
run out of time. And so another one, and this was one that, although it's funny when you think about it as a kid, don't talk to strangers.
Absolutely.
That means as a kid, you couldn't talk to anybody because everybody was a stranger.
I know. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
Everybody's a stranger. You're a kid, you're learning, meeting new.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to go out, you go to school. Hey, they're all strangers. I can't talk to school. What is this? That's crazy. It's ridiculous. Of course, obviously now we know that's pretty, especially as the decades have wore on and with all the stuff that goes on now and the child safety, in fact. But it's a safety thing and it's very important. And we used to tell our kids that, and our kids will tell our kids that.
Yeah.
And that's something that's gonna carry on.
Yeah. Yeah. How about one last one? Are you ready for this?
What's that?
Be home by the time the lights come on. You'd have dinner, and this during the summer, and you go out to play. And the rule was be home by the time the lights come on.
Well, when I was a kid in Jersey, I don't remember much in the way of lights, street lights.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so
I grew up in the city.
Yeah, well,
plenty of street lights.
I had to be home for dinner.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't care what you do. You go out, play, do whatever you want. And of course, when I grew up, where I grew up, okay, we didn't lock doors. We didn't do any of that. I was really fortunate.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, and so I'd go all over there and have fun. Be home for dinner. Dinner was 6:00. I'd be home for dinner, and then I'd go out afterwards and so on. But they just said, well, they usually gave me a time to be home by.
Right.
And so it wasn't so much lights; it was a time.
Right. It was street lights for us.
Okay.
Okay. The street lights came on at a certain time, which was, I think it was like almost 8:00. During the summer, you had to be inside. Okay. That was the rule.
Okay. Well, there you go. But that's interesting stuff.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So
and
pretty much everything that we thought was ridiculous and silly kind of sort of makes sense as we got older, huh?
And if our kids have a podcast, they're going to be saying the same thing about us.
Absolutely.
What my dad used to do?
They're going to say the same things, right?
Yeah.
Or most of them anyway, if not all of them. Yeah. Really. So these are probably kind of timeless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You're right.
You know what? We should next time. Well, if you have, what do you call those things? The time
capsules? Yeah.
Yeah, should put these in a time capsule. Okay, dear parents.
Yeah.
Okay, 50 years from now. Okay, in 2075. Dear parents. Okay, do these ring a bell?
I know it. Oh my goodness. Well, Professor, what do you say, man? We're running a little long today. All righty.
We have a tendency to do that. We'll have to work on that.
It is what it is. We're just having too much fun.
It is. We'll be good.
All
right. Good. Talk to you next time.
All right. Bye-bye, my man.
Bye.
We'd like to thank you for listening and remind you, if you happen to have any baby boomer topics you'd like us to cover, just email us at growingupboomer@gmail.com. And until next time, may God bless.